Yo, what's poppin', guys? We're back at it again with another Zefra video here. This is going to be Melodious Zefra. We have the nice Melodious support here. I've been playing this a whole bunch in Master Duel, and it's been feeling really great. You get another nice push off of Ostinato. Refrain is a good normal summon. You can build the deck in a way that the light lock off of Couplet isn't that much of an issue for you either. And of course, you can use spell and trap cards, which the super heavy engine locked you out of. And there's a ton of different ways to build this. This version runs more hand traps, which you might not really see right now. I mean, I guess you see the driver, but yeah. And of course, the Ash Return. So we're going to be breaking some boards. You're going to lead by sending the Destrudo here. Unfortunately, we are under Baguska, so I can't use any of these effects. This would have gone super plus here as well. So if I want to remove the Baguska, I will then have to contend with the Baron. Don't forget that if you destroy the Maxx, it'll shuffle one card non-targeting on the field into the deck. And you can't target it with card effects. Also, you can't attack anything except for Maxx. So we're going to go ahead and make an Appaloosa here before a fat pen summon. This way, when we make our SP here, it's probably a misplay. Should have probably made SP first so I can use this thing in attack position. But it's not like it really matters because I can't attack anyways. Now, we also want to point out that the Clearwing Synchro Dragon actually checks the Baron. If she targets to destroy it, I can activate the effect to negate it. If it uses its negate on something else, I can negate it. I still have my Appo to negate it as well. So they're gonna have to go battle phase to just swing over this stuff. Gonna lose all my arrows. Kind of unfortunate here. And we're going to start breaking the board now. Now this is probably just an attempt to bait out my Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Because you could have then negated that with Baron as well. Like it really matters. All you have to contend with is the Maxx here, which remember we can't target it and we don't want to destroy it because it will screw over our board. But fortunately, we do have a wonderful out to that. We get to use all of these things. Go ahead and just pop all that stuff. Now we don't get to actually use the Beyond the Pendulum, because I am out of high scales. I'm only on one Zefra in this version right now. So the Beyond doesn't get to trigger, but we get to use both of our Zefra guys to target and destroy a face up and a face down. We don't really care about Call By. I feel like he should have used that on the Darkworm turn 1. Or he just drew into it. I wasn't really paying attention. And we go into our Ignister Prominence, which is the cornerstone of this build here. Yeah, we get to non-targeting, non-destructive, remove that, go for a secret village here. They have terrible scales. They can't do anything here at all. And we win the game for free. All right, here we're going to be showing off a bit of just combo potential, going for like the ceiling. We're going to be sending Destrudo for two reasons. First of all, we have the Darkworm in hand already. And then if we send them and bring them back, it feels kind of like lost value on that. And then also we prefer to just resolve Refrain anyways. There's kind of a bit of anti-synergy here. You can't use Couplet's scale effect if you control the Darkworm, but you can't summon a Darkworm from grave if you control the Refrain. So it's a bit awkward, but this line just gives me more advantage here. So we're going to be going for that. I'm going to go ahead and just make the Botcha here. Activate all this stuff. And you can see we're not rescaling the Couplet because we want to have a Zefra scale. We make sure to put the Concerto on a higher chain link, so we get the chain block here from the Ghost Belle. Probably not the best Belle, to be honest. You can Belle this because this can technically also summon from the graveyard. Has a bit more impact. The IP was just my throwaway link. I used to run Cross Sheep, but I think I'd just rather have more utility in the extra deck, to be honest. And now we are completely safe. And we got the pendulum summon here. Of course, you want to pendulum summon the Zefra here because we want to get the counter trap. But it's also important that we summon the couplet, because with the Destrudo engrave, we can target the couplet, become a level 2. You only saw it for a second there, but 2 + 6 is 8. And our Ignister Prominence, my beloved, will come out here, and they're going to surrender because they know I can use this effect here, summon the Majesty, grab the village, and then I have, what is this, like 2-mat Apo, Baguska, IP, Spellcaster, Counter Trap. Good luck in esports, right? Plus we have the Ash Blossom. All right. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Maxx plus Gamma, my beloved, plus Ostinato call by. We're kind of cooking here, right? So they're going to activate the emergency teleport to chain here. And I am going to use my Gamma to negate this stuff. So he gets to bring these guys back. But this still gives draws and everything. Now, I do draw the Imperm on this chain, which is kind of awkward, but my opponent has to do a bunch of draws. There's a Steeds, there's 2 unknown, and there's 1 card in hand. I don't know if I know what it is here. I definitely am not paying attention anymore. So we're gonna go ahead and send 2 copies here of the Refrain to make the Bacha. That's going to go ahead and summon out the 3rd Refrain to search a couplet to bring back a Refrain here. We're going to make Gallant Granite. This would normally search for Zefra here, but I'm making it specifically because I want to bait out one of their back row here. Now we get to make the Little Knight, which is going to clear the Steeds. We're forcing it out here. It's going to just pretty much play all of the cards that he has at once here. We still get to bring back this guy. And he's going to Imperm here. Of course, this doesn't have an effect using Imperm to negate the couplet in the column here, right? So we're gonna go ahead, just get our search here, go for Beyond the Pendulum, and you probably already know it's kind of over already. I'm just gonna search for a low scale here. I'll go for Pen Summon. Remember, we are light locked during the Pendulum Summon only because of the couplet, making sure to trigger the Beyond the Pendulum to blow everything up here. And it's a wrap. Call by the Grave on this. There's really no more plays they can do, and we can just go straight for an access code line or something, and we win the game there. All right, now you may be thinking, whoa, this looks like such a cool version of a Melodious deck, but isn't pure Melodious better? And I will now show you why this isn't the case. As you can see, they opened Ostinato, and we are going to win without opening hand traps. And our hand is like decently mediocre, right? You don't really want to open the Secret Village. The Fraxon isn't the best draw, but going second in combination with other Zefra cards can help break boards a little bit. And Dark Worm plus Dragon Shrine is also manageable since we can send the Destrudo. Now, if we opened Ostinato, we would have a counter trap, 2-mat Apo, Secret Village, and Baguska just off of Ostinato. So if we compare that to whatever they're making here, sure, they get hand traps, but we're also on a bunch of hand traps. Also, fortunately for us, our opponent might not be the best pilot of this deck. So we're going to go have a look at what this is. This is the Étoile to spin back a bunch of my face-up cards, bounce them all right back up to the hand. Then Schuberta is basically just triple DD Crow as a quick effect. And we have the Aria here, which says that Melodious monsters cannot be targeted by card effects or destroyed by battle. So you can still destroy them by card effects, you just can't target them. And you can target them for attacks, but they can't be destroyed by battle. It still takes battle damage though. All right, so we're gonna go ahead with this. Go ahead and bait out this Schuberta, which she for some reason doesn't use. I don't know what other target there is in the pen deck aside from this, but I mean, go whatever, right? So we're just gonna go ahead, normal summon this guy, go straight for our Electromite, use the effect here. Beautiful, we get the Astrograph into rotation, activate Electromite, and everything gets shuffled back. Now this is terrible because Electromite, as everyone knows, has hard once per turn. You can only use this effect of Heavy Metal Foes Electromite once per turn on the draw one card, which didn't get triggered yet. And the other ones are just soft ones per turns. It doesn't matter. We're going to use it again. We're just crazy like that, right? So go ahead, just pend only 2. He's going to banish our graveyard for some reason. It does absolutely nothing. Should have used it earlier. Look at this. Electromite's coming back. We are gaming, and we just get to resolve all 3 effects of Electromite again. Oh yeah, also we got to send another dude with Electromite because we link summoned it again. That's pretty nice, right? Gonna go for a Beyond here. Drop down our scale, trigger the Astrograph, summon ourselves out here, and we're gonna go ahead and summon out our tuner, add back another dude, go for a nice access code talker here. Now I could also go for like a vortex and everything, but we can't target stuff yet. So we're just gonna go ahead, clear the field here. I'm thinking I've deleted his scale. I will set up a secret village. Surely this will hurt the deck enough. We also have our counter trap. What's he gonna do? So I totally forgot this thing comes back. I have to negate this, and this face-up fusion summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card. You can special summon a Melodious monster. I think it's cheating that this triggers, because was this really fusion summoned? Didn't it come back? But apparently it comes back during the end phase, doesn't get special summoned again. So when I negate this, he's going to get to free fusion summon a guy, and that's going to trigger his scale, and it comes back, and my secret village is completely worthless. I should have just gone for like SP plus vortex and we would have been fine. So it's going to use its effect to clear my access code talker, but we get to keep the magicians here, fortunately. But now we do have to deal with this board. Oh yeah, spoiler, I pen summon here. So he has the Bloom Diva, can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, which is kind of annoying. And if it battles a special summon monster, it just burns and deletes it. Then we have the Arya again, so he can't have any of his monsters be targeted by card effects or destroyed by battle. And this guy says that Melodious monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. So we can't target them, we can't destroy them, and like not even by battle. So his entire field, untargetable, indestructible. Oh no, whatever will we do? It's so hard. It's almost unwinnable unless a shining ray of hope, the glimmer of light. It's Ignis Your Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer, my beloved. I'm gonna go ahead and make the Absolute Dragon here. And the funny thing is, you saw we popped his Pendulum card. Wow, I can't talk anymore. I'm so hyped. You can actually just target any Pendulum monster on the field or one card in the Pendulum Zone. So because he has a guy in the Pendulum Zone, we actually have to destroy him for cost. Well, we target him for cost, then we destroy it, and then we shuffle back another guy. Non-targeting, so now he no longer has a targeting protection. Now, they still can't be destroyed by card effects, so we're going to have to see how we get rid of that. And it's just going to be the SP Little Knight. We're just going to play the slow. We're setting up a lot of disruption. We're totally fine. So now we get the Vortex. Make sure it's on the correct chain link here. So you can see here that chain link 1 is our Absolute Dragon. That means it's the last thing that resolves. So the Vortex Dragon says when this card is special summoned. So the last thing that happened is this thing gets special summoned, so now it triggers. If we chain link 1 the Little Knight, chain link 2 the Absolute Dragon, the Vortex would miss the timing. And this is great because, well, it's great that we got to resolve it because it gets to bounce an attack position monster to the hand, and we get to bounce the guy that can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, but it can be targeted since we removed the targeting protection of the Arya. Clear the field here. We can't kill him, unfortunately, so we just set up a Baguska. We have an SP, we have an Omni Negate. He's under Secret Village. There's really not much they can do, and they're going to scoop it up, and we're going to show that Zefra is the best Melodious variant. All right, here we got another banger replay. As you can see, the ton of non-engine that we're playing is showing up here. We're going to lead with some Ash Bait here. We got to do this first, more or less, anyways, if we're going to go for it. And we get Havnist on Darkworm. So, interesting. And he mills Summon Skull cards, which is even more interesting. So, we're just going to go ahead. Astrograph gets to trigger here. Summon this out. grab another Gate Magician, which we can then activate to summon. This is going to grab us our tuner, which we're going to have to pen summon since we already committed our normal. But now we get to go into an Absolute Dragon early on, and we're going to link this off into a Beyond the Pendulum. This is because we're not going to be using Zefra this turn anyways, so we don't really need it. Also, we are light locked anyways. If we didn't have the the couplet in the scale here, we could have, of course, just added a Zefra right off the bat with the Beyond the Pendulum, and we would have been fine there as well. So just a bunch of adding back, getting a ton of resources. You can really see the grind game here. Ignister Prominence, my beloved, coming up again, giving us access to the secret village here. And just for memes, shuffling back to Havnus. I guess he can mill it again now. Yeah, let's see him mill it when we make our Schuberta as part of our end board. Reset the scales, gain a bunch of attacks, just clear some stuff out of our deck. And we have the secret village with a big spellcaster. So what's this? We played through Havnus, incredible, and we ended on 3-man Apo. We can banish 3 cards from the graveyard. I ended on this because I know he's on tier Summon Skull. This is gonna really screw up some stuff. We have an Omni-Negate here, and we have the secret village as well as a spellcaster with 2000 defense, so it's not going to be that easy to beat over. And then we have a bonus effect Veiler here just for more insurance. So here's a Sheeran, setting a bunch more guys. Now, I don't want to negate the Sheeran with Apo because you could just normal summon it, beat over it. But I also don't want his stuff triggering in the graveyard. So I guess I just negated that. There's probably an argument to be made to negate the Sheeran in case he sends stuff that like can chain block each other, because then I can't interact with it anymore. Probably would have been a bit of a better play. However, I feel very safe because Schuberta can just target the stuff in the graveyard. He wants to like fuse or do whatever, right? I can still just get rid of the stuff. So end of main, we're going to have to Veiler the king, because otherwise he's going to just screw me. I don't want him to like activate a grass or something because he's on also, actually I don't even care about grass, but like reasoning. So we're just going to go ahead and negate the SP and we win. Yippee. Now, as per usual, if we just YouTube combo pop off, it's kind of boring to watch the video. So of course we're going to be getting Maxx here right off bat. We're going to be setting up a bunch of stuff here. I'm getting some type of vibe that maybe he's on something else. So we're just going to go ahead and activate the Ostinato, which gets ghost spelled. Crazy. This gives like a bunch of draws, but I was thinking I'm probably fine here. I can get the level 6 that's like DD Crow and stuff, and I can still make a Baguska on top with it. Or I just go for like an SP or something. So here we're just going to go ahead, have our Maxx, our counter trap, and our SP into 6 cards. So that's pretty much as if this was my normal end board. Kind of sad, but it should be enough to survive. Unfortunately, they're going to call by this here. I think there's definitely value. I don't think they can kill me specifically through the through just like Little Knight, right? If I have the Maxx running, because I do have, I think, 17 hand traps in this list. I am on 60, but it's still a bunch. So I think it's kind of too risky from the play. What really annoys me here is they're going to search for Birth and then activate it, which lets them normal summon level 7 monsters without tributing. So they just get to normal summon out Diabellstar, which doesn't give me a draw. That was kind of sad. All right, but we know they're on 1 unknown. We know they have Snash in hand. So I'm not really too worried here. To be honest, we're going to go use another Oracle Zefra, grab the Zefraxiton here. It's got to banish some stuff from my graveyard that I don't care about because it's not like it's coming back anyways. Zefrath going to go ahead and send the Zefra here. And we get to have a pop face up and a pop face down. That's going to clear all of his stuff. I'm doing it this way because I don't want to use a monster effect before clearing the unicorn. If he rips my Electromite, I am kind of sad. However, now I get to make the Electromite, so I am kind of happy. But my opponent is now very sad, and they're going to surrender the game here. All right, here we're going to unfortunately lose the coin flip and play through a nigh unbreakable board. I'm just hoping Gamma can save me from the devious power of set 2 pass. Oh my gosh, however will I beat this? So, of course, I'm going to start activating a bunch of stuff, hoping that I can just bait for Gamma or something, right? I'm going to send Destrudo because the only normal summon in this hand is the Dark Worm, so there's not really that much point like bringing it back here. It could give me an Electromite before my Pendulum summon, but I'm thinking, let's see what happens here first, right? And what happens is the barrier. Calling Pendulum monsters, so that's wild. Yeah. So our secondary low scale, aside from Zefra Thubin, I'm just running a Zefraxi. Funnily enough, this actually comes up sometimes with the effect, and the main reason is just I wanted another target, and I wanted a non-level 4 for Beyond the Pendulum plays, which I could still go for here if he, like, of course, didn't pen call me, because Dark Worm gets some advantage, maybe like an Imperm. Destrudo comes back, I make Beyond the Pendulum, it resets Zefra's scale, I get to like pop a bunch of stuff, so I would have gone off, but unfortunately we get debarriered. So what we're going to do here is we're going to send our throwaway Zefra card that we don't need for our grind game, and the Providence here is going to grab the Divine Strike. And this is so good because we now have a Zefra in the extra deck, and we have the Divine Strike. So we have a counter trap, we have Gamma. You probably bricked, so I feel super secure here. And they're gonna go ahead and lead with a Lightning Storm, which you're going to have to negate. And now I'm kind of slightly worried. I'm like, oh gosh, it's a board breaker. Maybe it's Tenpai. They just sound like a Saki going first card. Oh no, and then yeah, what am I witnessing? What is this? Magician Salvation Pass. All right, so my draw, of course, not the best. Gonna go ahead and send a high scale here, do a bunch of pen summoning here, grab a bunch of advantage, and I'm doing it this way before coming my normal summon, so I can go ahead and search for the Zefraxiton. I want to clear his other set card. I really don't care about him summoning Dark Magician. Let's be real, that card, it doesn't do anything. I could just deal with it. It's one unknown in hand then, or he doesn't even have a Dark Magician, then the other set card is dead anyways, and it's just 2 unknowns. So he's gonna activate this. I'm like, okay, he's gonna search something for next turn, cross out. I guess we got rid of it, right? It's fine. And then it turns out he's not adding something with Eternal Soul, and he keeps getting triggers. So I get Vaylantz here. First I thought, oh, maybe he has the Dark Magician, right? But nope, he Vaylantz my Electromite. I'm kind of sad. Unfortunately, this is a mandatory effect, and he still has triggers here, which is kind of worrying me. I'm thinking maybe it's like Nibiru or something, but I'm just gonna go for the greedy line here. I'm like, maybe it is maybe it just is the DM in hand. You never know, right? So just generating a ton of bodies here, going for the Ignister Prominence, and here he activates it. It was Dark Magician in hand. We get rewarded for I mean, yeah, not wussing out, I guess. And Secret Village is, of course, completely pointless against Dark Magician, which is like all spellcasters. But now we're just going to go ahead and pop the Eternal Soul in the back row. That's going to trigger in the graveyard, blowing up his entire field, and we can just swing for game here. Defeating the Pharaoh himself. Ooh. All right, here we're going to be playing against what looks like, I don't know, Zexi's second account, the Meta Fist Enjoyer. And we're going to go ahead and bait with the Oracle of Zefra. As you can see, we are not actually chaining the crossout designator. Why is this? It's because we don't care about this resolving. Zefra Providence gets us to Zefrath, and Ostinato also gets us to Zefrath because we can make Gallant Granite with the 2 level 4s that we get. So it's objectively just correct to hold crossout designator here, even if you don't think they have another hand trap. Just because we don't actually lose out on meaningful value here. This is not a choke point. If they ash the Ostinato, there's definitely a much larger argument to be made to cross it out. But we would rather hold it here. So we're going to ostinato, and they have the Maxx. We're rewarded here for making the smart play and not just pressing the shiny yellow button. And I think it's so great in this game when he like swings with the sword and then like their field blows up from the surrendering. Yeah, that's it. Alrighty guys, so this is the deck list I was running. This was from before the patch, so you can see there's only one more Gamma. I don't think Gamma is really worth it because Driver doesn't do anything for you in this deck. And decks like Dragon Link, they can maybe get away with it because it's a target for that Red Eyes, whatever his name is, that summons himself. I guess you could like pen summon the Driver, but that's already very cope. Maybe you could run another Frame to legitimize it as well. You could also just swap it out for engine, but I think this large amount of engine of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then we have a 15 here, hand traps, plus I guess like 3 more non-engine as well. Actually really helps you going second, and even though you are on 60 cards, you will statistically see around 2, I think, most of the time. 1 to 2. I didn't want to see 3. Most of the hands I had with 3 either had ostinato or I just bricked. That kind of sucked. So I very much prefer it like this. I like where the ratios are here. I feel like having max copies of Zefra is very good in a format with Maxx, because this does allow you to play very low to the ground. As you saw in that replay against Kashtira Snake Eyes, we got to make SP plus a counter trap in very few summons through another hand trap as well. So it's just a good backup plan without having to commit a lot of draws. If you resolve like ostinato, to get to anything meaningful, you need to give them like 2 to 5 draws or something, which it really hurts. So I think in a format where Maxx is legal, definitely want to be running a bunch of these guys. If it's not legal for some reason, I mean, you can like cut these to like 2 or something as well. You can cut Zefra down to 1 or 2, maybe even. Just open up your deck for more like power plays, more hand traps or something. But especially with the Gamma going down, that's my reasoning on running all of these. Of course, the Melodious package, I guess you could cut a couplet if you're really hurting for the deck space, but it's very nice for hands where you open multiples. It's not like super terrible to draw as with like anything else in the pen deck as well. Of course, you have the Dragon Shrine package here with the Foolish, got the Destrudos with the Gate Magician, and Destrudos, the Dark Worms. Here's the Destrudo. And then for the rest of the Gate Magicians, we have our tuner. This is very important. You want to access your tuner as much as possible. So you saw the play with the Destrudo and the couplet to make the Ignister Prominence. You also have just the Lightworm plus any of the 4s that we have that makes the Ignister Prominence. And there's also probably like some scuffed stuff with like summoning hand traps or whatever to get there, right? Do note you have to use non-tuner pendulum monsters for this. The tuner doesn't have to be a pendulum though. And yeah, basically the cornerstone of this deck is the Ignister Prominence. We are trying to search for the secret village because it will turn off pretty much all the hard go second decks. No Lightning Storm, no Super Poly, none of that jazz, right? Don't have to worry about Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster. So that gives you a much better time. And then yeah, because there's also no Super Poly, we get to make an early Appaloosa and still end on our Vortex Dragon. Don't have to worry about Super Poly because the village again. And then we also have our counter trap, which we always want to have. And then anything else we have is just going to go into something like maybe an IP, maybe just straight up make the SP if we're using the IP here early. I'll show you a different version just a sec where I was still running Cross Sheep. There's a lot of considerations, especially with all the rank 7 access you have. You can use Spoon King Gate Magician, the Astrograph. You can use a Botcha for it. You could run a second Botcha, but Schuberta is A, cheaper, and B, has an effect. You could also run like AFD to like pop an Oracle of Zefra, get to the secret village that way. Remember, Destrudo is a 7, so it'll just get there right off the bat, and then you overlay the AFD for this or something. So a lot of nice plays. Also, don't forget that Exceed the Pendulum is a spellcaster. If you don't think they have nib, and you don't want to make an early Apo or something, you can just keep this, and this will increase the ceiling on your boards quite a bit. You can also just make an Apo under it, maybe. Yeah, at this point, I kind of feel like I'm rambling, so I'll show you the other list here real quick that I started off with, which was this one. You can also see I was on a nib here. I'm also, in my newer version, I'm actually on 2 Zefra again. And there's a cross sheep here, which gives a lot more value during the ostinato lines. But the way I see it is either ostinato gets stopped and cross sheep is a dead card in your extra deck. That could be something like Access Code, which came up a whole bunch, as you saw. I think it's definitely a lot more valuable. Or you get to resolve ostinato for free, in which case just sack off the IP or winning the game anyways. So essentially cross sheep is just a win more card. It feels fun to play, of course. If you want to just like YouTube combo people in lower ranks, go for it. But if you're really trying to climb, if you want that consistency, I don't think this card is worth it. All right, guys, I hope you have happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.